Mike Delisio from Solo Mode Games. Today I'm going to be doing a solo playthrough of the game Nusfjord by Uwe Rosenberg, someone who's considered to be kind of the king of worker placement Euro games. Nusfjord is going to have some similarities to other Uwe Rosenberg games if you're familiar with them or played them, but it has some pretty significant differences too that I think you'll see in the run through here. It's pretty quick, it's snappy, the turns are very fast, and oftentimes Rosenberg games are known for, especially more of the recent ones, for being kind of these big epic experiences. And Nusfjord is one that's a little bit more into the medium category, I would say. Not as heavy as something like A Feast for Odin or even Fields of Arle, and it gives you some of the same flavor. So I think you'll get a good idea on that when we head on over to the table. So what better time than right now? Okay, here we have the solo setup for Nusfjord, and you can see we've got quite a wide display here, so I had to pan way out on the camera. But this is a game that takes up a bit of table space, so I had to kind of go in that direction. So just to give you a little bit of a quick overview of what we're looking at here, this is a very similar setup to what you would have in a multiplayer game, with the exception of you'd have more of these individual player boards and individual elder boards. So if you were playing against two player, you might be playing head to head, and they would have opposite you their elder board, which is right here, and their player board, which is right here. This is the main action board. This is the where you can get more elders. I'm sure there's a name for it, but I don't remember off the top of my head. And here you have two boards that are designated for different buildings. Here you've got A buildings and B buildings, and then at a particular point in the game, two particular rounds, actually 4 and 6, we're going to bring out C buildings. And as you might expect in a worker placement type game, the C buildings are going to be a little bit tougher to build, but they're going to be worth potentially more points and have more powerful actions. The main difference in a solo game, other than just having the one player board, is that my primary color is going to be red, and so my personal supply and my shares are going to be in the color of red, but I'm also going to be using these blue discs. And if you've played some of Uwe Rosenberg's solo variants before, this is something you might recognize. He does something similar to this in A Feast for Odin, where your player colors, your alternate player colors, will block yourself, so to speak, in subsequent rounds. So the red discs that I place, just about all of these spaces, you can only have one worker on each space. In the next round, when I'm playing with my blue discs, I can't go to those spaces. They're effectively blocked for me, and then they get removed in between rounds. So it's a way to kind of simulate the blocking that you would find in a multiplayer game. And of course, blocking is a big part of the tension that you find in worker placement games inherently. So it's a nice little way to get that tension in there. The other thing to point out is that here we've got our banquet table. It's got one fish that gets seated at the beginning of the game. My player board has 4 forest tiles. Each forest tile will cover up 2 building spots, and this upper space here has 2 forests on it. These are all places where I could potentially build buildings, and if I wanted to have more space to build buildings, I could remove forest and clear off space, and I could also additionally add forest, because at the end of the game, any of these spots that are open that don't have a building or a forest on them are going to give you -1 point. All right. Here we've got our shares. There are 2 issued shares, 3 unissued shares, and that's something that will be kind of mentioned as we go along. And the round tracker for the solo game. Specifically, there are 7 rounds. It's pretty snappy. It goes pretty quick, and hopefully you'll get a sense for that, although first couple of rounds I'm going to tend to be a little bit more deliberate about what I'm doing to hopefully explain things for you. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started here. The first thing you do in every round is what's called the fishing phase. And in the fishing phase, you're going to get a number of fish from the general supply equal to the smallest number showing on the bottom of your player board. And right now my player board is far away, but it starts here, and I'm going to have 3 fish that I start with. Eventually you can build ships. So let's say, for example, I build this sloop and that goes there. And now during the fishing phase, I'll be getting 5 fish instead. Later on, I built a schooner after that. Now you're getting 8 fish. You get the idea, I think. All right, but round 1, we've just got our initial little ship there at port. And so we're going to be getting 3 fish. On your elder board, there's a nice little kind of a chart on what you're going to do and in which order. So the first thing that you would do with your fish, and for me it's 3 here at the beginning, is you'd place them on any elders you have. I don't have any elders. No one would have elders at the beginning of the game, so that doesn't happen. Next would be your shares in foreign possession. That really only takes effect in a multiplayer game. I'm not going to have any shares in foreign possession. Well, no, I guess that's if I had shares here, that's where yeah, that would be considered foreign possession until I would take them back. Then your shares in personal supply. So here's the first place that I'm going to be doing. I have 2 shares. I put 2 fish there, 1 for each. Then any remaining into reserve, that's my reserve. You can have a maximum of 8 fish. If you had any extra fish after that, they would just go back into the general supply. Then what you do to end the fishing phase is you take any fish from your shares and you put them into your personal supply. So right now, I've got 2 fish that are at hand that can be used. I have 1 fish in my reserve that I could potentially get into my personal supply, and I'm ready to go. All right, so here's my player board, or the action board, I should say. And these are the things that I can do. In the solo or 2-player game, all of these places have a little 1 in the upper left corner. And what that tells you is that only 1 worker disc can ever be placed there at any given time. We do have 1 place that allows us to copy an action, so you can circumvent that a little bit. All right, we're in round 1, and here it's in red, so it shows you that I'm going to be using the red discs, my 3 actions here. You have to take 3 actions. You cannot pass. I'll go very quickly through these actions. Here, you place there, and it's +1 gold. You simply will get 1 gold from the personal supply, and these are some tiny little... The 1 golds are remarkably minuscule. The 5s and the 10s are a little bigger, but anyhow. So that you go there just simply to get a gold. Here, transfer reserve, any goods that you had, fish or wood, that are in the reserve would go into your personal supply there. Here is to serve fish, and what you do there is you take a number of fish and put them on this banquet table, and you start from right to left as far as any that are open. So they go 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, and the way it would work is that you're always going to only have 1 fish on each plate, but to serve each plate, it gets a little bit more expensive. So if I wanted to serve fish, I would have to, since it has a 2 on it, I would have to take my 2 fish, I would place 1 on that plate and put the other into the general supply. If I later wanted to go here, I would need 3 fish, 1 would go on the plate, 2 would go into the general supply. For each served plate, you would also get 1 gold. So in the case of here, if I went there, I would go here, discard that one, and get 1 gold because I served 1 plate. Why you would want to have fish on those plates will become clear in a moment. Here you can build a building. These are all the available buildings currently. There will be more buildings that come out. The cost to build them are on the left here. So for all of these, you've got wood, and you've got fish, and you've got gold. But in this case, only wood is needed for this one. The fish and the gold are grayed out. So if I wanted to get this forester's house, I would pay 3 wood. This would come into my player board and immediately reforest by placing 4 forests on a free double space. It's also worth 1 point at the end of the game. Some of these actually are worth negative points, the early building. So that's building. You actually have 2 build-a-building spots, so you are not completely blocked out each round if you wanted to do that. Here is to issue a share, and so basically what you do if you went there is you would take one of your unissued shares, you'd put it here, and you would get 2 gold, and then you could later buy that share back by coming here. That costs 1 gold per share that you're buying. It gets cheaper as it goes on in rounds 4 to 5. It's 1 less gold in rounds 6 to 7. It's 2 gold. Deforest, you simply go there, remove one forest, and you get 5 woods into your personal supply. Thin out, it is you get 1 wood for each forest that you have. Excuse me, that you have. Reforesting is placing 2 forests on a free double space. Building a ship is paying the cost here in the upper left and putting it down along the bottom as I showed you a moment ago. And then finally, taking an elder and using him immediately. To do this, this is where the fish on the banquet table come in. To take an elder and put him into your elder's, again, there's a name for it there, I can't quite remember it, but to put him into your elder's display, you have to have a fish to be able to do that. And then later, once he's in your display, to be able to use him, you also have to be able to have a fish there. So that's why the fish in the banquet table become important. All right, and you'll see more as we get going. So I think now is a good time to go ahead and get started with our first action turn. Okay, so here we go. I've got my red discs. I'm looking at these elders because elders can be very, very important, I believe, to have in my extensive experience playing this game, which is not a lot. I do think I want to get one of these elders. And so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and take an elder and use him immediately. I'll get the pond builder. It says distribute four fish plus 1 fish per building as you would during the fishing phase. Now I don't have any buildings, but so I'll go ahead and take that pond builder. I will remove the fish, place the fish at the top of the elder card there. It has a spot for 3 fish. You'll kind of see what happens as that goes along. So I distribute 4 fish. I take 4 fish from the general supply and I'm going to put them in the order that they would normally. So 1 goes on this elder. All right. 1 goes on shares in foreign possession. There are none yet. My shares in personal supply, I put 2 there. The 1 that's left goes into the reserve. These come into my personal supply. So now I've got 4 fish. That allowed me to get some more fish. All right, so for my next action, what I would like to do, now if I wanted to kind of build up a bunch of fish, what I could actually do here is come here, serve fish. I could actually serve 2 plates there, get some gold, and then I could actually come back here again. Because I used him when I took him, but I could use him again by placing a worker pawn on it. You can only do that once per round, but technically you're only using it once. You've used it when you get it. So that might be interesting to build up some fish. And I'm looking at the buildings. There's nothing that takes just a lot of fish. But fish is a very powerful currency, as you might expect. It's kind of what the game is really built around. It'd be nice to get another share, although it becomes cheaper to buy them later on. I'm going to try that. I think it's an interesting strategy. I don't know if it's a good strategy. I'm going to go ahead and serve fish. I will serve 1 here. And then I will serve another 1 here. So I put 1 there and put 1 back. 2 served plates, so I get 2 gold. All right. Now I have 1 more action. And what I'm going to do is go to the pond builder here. And it's to do that, I have to take this fish. And now I've got 3 fish on this elder. And so what happens anytime an elder gets 3 fish is 1 goes to your personal supply, 2 go back to the general supply. And now I'm going to do the action, distribute 4 fish. All right, so I take 1 fish. I'm kind of doing exactly what I did before. 1 goes right on that elder. No foreign shares in foreign possession. I've got 2 shares in my personal supply, 1 in the reserve. Now I've got 3 fish in reserve. These come back to me. All right. All right, and now that was it. Again, I don't know if that was a good play. I just thought it was interesting to try it. All right, and so that was that. That was my first round. Pretty simple. Now we move to round 2, and I'm going to be using the blue discs. And now I can't go to the places that already have red discs on them. All right, other than if I copy an action here. All right, so round 2, we're going to do our fishing phase. I still only have 3. Because I haven't bought a ship, although I might want to be doing that here this round, potentially. And 1 fish goes onto my elder. no shares in foreign possession. I've got 2 shares in my personal supply. None left, so nothing goes to the reserve. These come to me. So I've got a fair amount of fish here. I've got 6 fish, and I've got 3 workers. So maybe it's time to get some wood. Do I want to do that? I'm thinking it might not be a bad idea to get wood, because that's part of what you need to be able to build ships and to be able to build buildings. So obviously wood is important as well. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go to the deforest, remove 1 forest. I'll just remove this topmost forest, and I get 5 wood to go into my personal supply. You can never have more than 12 in your personal supply. All right, so now I've got 5 wood, 6 fish, and 2 money. That's a fair amount of stuff. I could be looking now for what I can buy. I can buy just about anything there. Actually, this theater is really nice. It's strictly a victory point building. If you can build this early, it's cheap, because the way it works is that to build the theater, which is again 9 points, it's 4 wood, 6 fish, and the number of money depends on the round in which you build it. So as you can imagine, the farther along you get, the more expensive it costs. And I actually have 2 gold right now. We're in round 2. So that 9 points seems pretty good, but by doing that, I'm clearing out almost all of my resources. But boy, that does seem good. I'm gonna do it. All right, so 4 wood goes back to the supply. 6 fish, all of my fish go away. And my 2 gold. So now I'm left with 1 wood in my supply. The theater comes into my personal supply board there. All right. So I've built a building, I've deforested. Maybe I need to issue a share. I don't know. I'm wondering if I want to maybe bring that fish over. That would get me a number of fish, but, well, I tell you, I think what I'll do is, I'm really struggling if I want to, I'll go ahead and transfer these fish into my reserve. Again, I don't know if that was a great play, but that I'll be saying that a whole lot. I don't know if that's a great play. All right, so that was that, and now we're going to bring back the red workers, since they're going to be the ones that are working on this round, which is round 3. All right, now we are going back. Make sure I keep that there so I know where it was. Now we're going to be going back to the fishing phase. You can see this is really fast. So I still only have 3 fish. All right. Shares in foreign possession, I don't have any. Shares in personal supply, I have 2. Oops, if I can get it on there. Then into the reserve. And now these come to me. All right. Well, I built up 9 victory points. That's great. But I feel like I need to start, maybe that was a little short-sighted. I feel like I need to start building towards getting a little bit more of an economy moving. So I need some more wood. Let's see here. Do I want to just go ahead and... First thing I'm going to do, I feel like I need to get some shares out. So I'm going to issue a share. That's going to come here. And now I get 2 gold immediately for that. Then I would like to... See, I kind of want to build a ship to get fish, but I also have this pond builder, which really kind of gives me fish just as is. Makes it easier to get fish. So I don't know if it's as important for me to do that. Maybe I should be looking at buildings as well. I'm just looking at these buildings to kind of see here. That raft builder, after you build a ship, 2 wood into your reserve, that's not bad. But then I'd be looking to build ships. I would want to be, in round 3, do I want to start that strategy? Do I want to get another elder? that might not be a bad idea. I've got a fish on the banquet table. Elders, I think, are always important. Would this builder work for me? That might work. Because then I could build a building without... Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. All right, so I'm going to take an elder and use him immediately. It's going to reveal another one beneath it. So this builder, I go ahead and take the fish and put it on there. It says to remove one forest, you get +1 wood, and then afterward build a building. So that's nice. So I'll go ahead and take this wood, and now I've got 2 wood, 2 money, and 5 fish. So which buildings do I want here? I've got plenty of options. Let's see here. You can immediately build a ship. You get 1 free sloop. That's nice. That's saving you 2 fish, but it's -1 point at the end of the game. That's kind of a bummer. Before you build a ship... Oh yeah, I already talked about that one. I could reforest by placing 4... Oh no, I don't have the 3 wood for that. The wet storage is free, and it gives you a point, so it's basically a free point. Whenever your reserve is empty, add 3 wood to your reserve. That's kind of nice. I would be kind of clearing out my reserve a lot to try to do that. I kind of like that. All right, I'll take this wet storage. Whenever your reserve is empty, add 3 wood to your reserve, and that's going to give me a point at the end of the game as well. All right, and that didn't cost me anything. I could now go ahead and build another building because that was free, basically. It was just a free point. And let's see here. Is there a way that I could use my wet storage right away? Is there something that gives me 5 fish, 2 wood, and 2 money? I doubt that. It does not look that way. So let's see here. I'll be putting some buildings into the display, some bigger buildings in the next round. Let's go ahead and build a ship. All right. So we can do a sloop. That would be 2 wood and 2 fish. So I'll do that. 2 wood, 2 fish. There's my sloop. And now I'm getting 5 fish during the fishing phase instead of the 3 that I had before. All right, here we go. So now we're going into round 4. We're taking these back. We're placing, it says, 4 sea buildings into the display. All right, so we'll add 4 of these buildings. Harbor installation, you can see that's more expensive, 10 wood and 5 gold. Village, church, wharf, and the castle. All right, so now we've got some more buildings in our potential buying spot. All right, here we go into round 4. We're more than halfway through the game now. And first we start with the fishing phase. I was getting ahead of myself. I'm starting to think about how I'm gonna get that share back. All right, so now we've got 5 fish. All right, we got 5 fish there, and they go to elders. So 1 onto the pond builder, 3 there. We immediately stop. 1 goes into the personal supply. These go into the general supply. 1 on the builder. Shares in foreign possessions, going to go there. Shares in the personal supply goes here. No more left in the reserve. This gets tossed. I'll lose that, unfortunately, and these go back into my personal supply. All right, here we go. I think I might want to get that share back. It's going to cost me nothing to do so now because we're in round 4. So I'll go ahead and do that. Now this share is back to me. All right. Gains me essentially 2 points at the end of the game because it went from -1 to +1. But it took a worker to do it. All right. I'd love to see if I can utilize some of these better buildings. Wow, the castle has no effect, but it's 11 points, and that's 8 gold. That's pretty terrific. Is there any way I can get that amount of gold? I don't really have a way to get a lot of gold here. Also, if I want to start using elders, I'm going to need to serve fish. So maybe let's do that. We'll serve fish. 1 there, 1 there, and then we'll go ahead and serve all 3. And I get 3 gold for that. Now I'm halfway there. I've got 5 gold. That's not bad. All right. And if I could... Oh, I'm more than halfway there. The castle's only 8 gold, and I've got 5. All right. If I had a bunch more fish, I could copy that spot and do it again. But I don't. I don't have a bunch of fish. However, I could go to the pond builder and get some fish. Do I play that way? Potentially. Potentially. All right, let's try it. All right. So I'll go to the pond builder. I take from the leftmost spot, sorry. That's going to go there. Now I'm distributing 4 fish plus 1 per building. So I'm actually going to be doing 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now this goes in the same order. We put 1 on the pond builder. We put 1 on the builder, which is going to clear that out. 1's going to go to my personal supply. These 2 go away. Shares in foreign possession, no longer have any. Shares in personal supply, now I've got 3. So you can see that's going to allow me to keep more fish. 1 goes into the reserve, and now these come to me. All right. And that was it. That was my last action. Whew, going fast. Okay, so now we move to round 5. These are going to come back. And we're going to fish again. We've got 5 fish. All right. 1 goes onto the pond builder, which is going to come to me. These 2 go away. 1 onto the builder. No shares in foreign possession. 3 shares in personal supply. These come back to me. Now I've got a lot of fish again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fish. All right. Is there a way for me to get 3 gold? I've got to imagine there is. Trying to see if there's ways to... I can get 2 gold for issuing a share. Let's do that. I'm going to issue a share. I get 2 gold for that. Now theoretically I could just go to the +1 gold. That would give me enough to then buy the castle. Is it worth it? For 11 points, it might be worth it. I hate to go to the +1 gold because I don't know if this is true, but that doesn't seem like the most efficient use of a worker, but boy, that's a lot of points. It is a lot of points. I could go to here to get an elder, remove 2 forests, get 5 wood, and take a gold, and that would immediately allow me to do that building, and that might be nice. I'm clearing off spots, but I could always reforest. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. All right, so I'm going to take an elder. I'm going to get the forest manager. All right, I use this fish to make that happen. I remove 2 forests, my last 2 forests. It's going to get me 5 wood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I've got a very full personal supply here. And 1 gold, which is pretty crucial because I think I'm going to be spending all that gold here in just a moment. And for my last action, I'm going to go ahead and build a building. It's going to be the castle. Castle has no effect, but it gives me 11 points. It costs 8 gold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, thankfully I counted that correctly. That would have been unfortunate. All right, boom. And so now I've got 21 points in buildings, which is good, I think. I've got 8 negative points showing here too, though, so I have to keep that in mind as well. All right, here we're going into round 6, so I'm going to get my blue workers back. And we're putting 3 more sea buildings into the supply. These are the last of the buildings that are going to be coming out. We've got a fish market. Wow, 25 fish for the fish market. It immediately gives you 5 gold and 3 points. But that is amazing. That's a lot of fish. All right. All right, so now I'm getting 5 fish here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, here we go. Elders first. 1 here. 1 here. 1 here. I'm losing a lot of fish here. Shares in foreign possession, yeah, that's a bummer. I didn't get hardly any fish at all. Shares in my personal supplies right there. So I do have a lot of fish here, though. I probably shouldn't cry. All right, this is going to go away. Okay, well, let's see here. I think if I issued a share, then I could buy them back and I'd get them both for free because it's -2 gold. But that's 2 out of my 3 actions, and I don't know that that's the best use. I can immediately gain back 4 points by going to the reforest twice because I can copy that action. So there's 4 points right there. However, I could also be looking at buildings that might be able to do things. I don't have quite enough for a schooner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I get 3 wood, I could get a schooner, which is worth 4 points at the end of the game. Oh, it also costs 4 gold. I don't have that gold. I was forgetting about the gold there. I could eventually get a cutter if I get some gold, which, you know, I'm sure I could do. Let's see here. And I can't do 2 of my elder actions because both of them involve removing forests. The aquarium gives 2 VP per elder, so that's 6 VP right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need 1 more gold, or 1 more fish and 3 gold. That would be nice. That's 6 points. This manor wouldn't work for me because it says 7 VP if you have 6 plus issued shares. Well, I can only get the 5. Wow. The forester's house would get me a point, and I can immediately place 4 forests, which could get me eventually some wood. But I don't have a lot of I don't have a lot of turns left here. That's the thing. I feel a little bit of a urgency here. I might want to go ahead and get, if I get the harbor master, I can exchange that and get a cutter, which would give me more fish in the next round. It would get me, especially if I can use this aquarium later. That might be nice because that would get me 8 points because there would be another elder there. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try to get the harbor master into my Elder's Lodge there and get this aquarium. That's, I don't know again if that's a great use, but I'm going to try it. Okay, so I copy an action because I already have the take an elder building or spot blocked. This harbor master is going to go here. The last fish goes here. I exchange 1 ship, a sloop for a cutter. All right, and so now it's going to give me 6 fish at the beginning of the last round instead of the 5, so 1 extra fish there. Now I need to start working on getting this. So I've got the wood, I need fish, and I need money. Okay. Fish I think I'm going to get potentially at the beginning of the next round, so I don't think I need to worry about that as much. I do need to get money. I could serve some fish, but I'd need to serve 3, and I don't know. That's a lot of fish. That's 6 fish to do that. It's not going to happen, and I need fish for here. All right, I'm going to try this. I'm not thinking this all the way through, but that's typical. So here we go. 1, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. I get 3 gold for that. I'm not sure if this is going to work out. I could have tried to math it out, but that would have taken forever and nobody wants that. All right, so I've surfished. I've got my 3 gold. I've got plenty of wood. I've got the gold, and now I need to get fish. So I can bring these fish into my supply, or I could go to the pond builder. Let's try that. Because that gives me 7 fish. I'd get 2 of them back there. Yeah, I'm going to try that. Here we go. Distribute 4 fish plus 1 fish per building. Okay, so that's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So 1 goes on to the pond builder. The one that goes on to the builder is going to come to me, and these are going to go away. The one that was going to go to the forest manager is going to come to me, and these go away. One more on the harbor master. This one gets lost, unfortunately. These 2 come to me. So I think that worked out. I do think that worked out. Because I think I'm gonna have enough to get that aquarium on this last round. All right. Speaking of last round, here we go. This goes to round 7. I get my red workers back, and we're gonna try to make this happen. All right. So I know I want to get that aquarium. So let's see where we're at after the fishing. We've got 6 fish we're gonna be distributing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They go to elders first. Pond builder's got 3. 1 comes to me. These go away. Builder, forest manager, harbor master fills up. 1 goes to me. 2 goes away. This one gets lost, unfortunately. This one goes here, so that goes away. This comes to me, and I think I'm good for the aquarium. So I'm going to build a building, and that's the aquarium. 2 VP per elder. All right, so right now it's going to give me 8 points at the end of the game. I've got to spend my 3 wood. My 10 fish, I have just enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then 3 gold. Oh, I almost emptied out for my wood storage. I could if I spend those 2 wood on something. All right, so now I've got some points. I could get that share back for free. Let's see here. I kind of would like to clear up some of these. I could gain 2 points there, but I'm wondering if there's a way for me to get more points. I'm looking, I don't think I have enough in these buildings to get me a whole lot. I could exchange this sloop or this cutter for a schooner, and that would be nice. That's 2 points there, and it doesn't give me extra fish, but it's 2 points, so that move gives me 2 points. This move, reforesting, gives me 2 points. So there's 4 points I can get with my last 2 actions. I'm wondering if there's a way to get more there. I'm not sure if there is. All right, well, let's see here. We'll go to the harbor master. I've got the elder, I might as well use it. And I'll exchange this cutter for a schooner. All right, last action. I've got 2 wood, but I think it might be best just to, I don't think there's any way I can get more than 2 points out of buildings because I don't have the supplies needed. The aquarium would give me an extra 2 points per elder. So I can get 2 points there. Is there anything here that would allow me to gain points there? Build a ship or build a building. I can't afford to do any of those. Is there anything is there any building I can build with 2 wood? That's negative 2 points. So I don't think, if there was a way I could build a building with what I had, that might be nice because then I could double up here with this constructor. I can't build a ship and I can't build a building because nothing that I have, no resources that I have is good enough for that. So I think what I'll do is just go ahead and reforest. All right, and place 2 forests on a free double space, which I'll go ahead and put it right there. So that saved me 2 points. All right, and there is the end of the game. We'll go to final scoring now. All right, and so the first thing we do is we total up the victory point values of buildings and ships. All right, so my buildings, let's see, I've got 20 points there, 21, 2 VP for Elder. 21 plus 8 is 29. All right, so we got 29. And then ships, we've got 4, so 33. All right. 1 victory point per issued share. 33, 34, 35, 36. All right, so we've got 36 going so far. And then we start subtracting points. -1 is 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30. All right, so it looks like I ended up with 30 points. And let's take a look here on the end game scoring. For the solo game, it says, score your display as explained on page 15. Your goal is to score as many victory points as possible. Good players score 30 to 40 victory points. Look at that. I'm on the very low end of good. I will take that every day of the week. I'll take the low end of good. That's fine with me. So hopefully you got a pretty good idea on how the solo game is played. It's really quick. Turns fly by, and it's got that great feeling that I think all good worker placement games have, which is you've got too many things you want to do and not enough time and resources to do it. That nice tension. So I hope that gave you a good idea on how the solo game of Nusfjord is played. As always, thank you so much for your time, and have a great day.